Welcome back to the Rocket League DreamHack Championship here, coming to you live from Jönköping, Sweden. I believe I'm getting that right still. Don't know.
Closer.
That'll be a thing all weekend. This is not my language at all, but we have a great match in store for you here. It is Prophecy versus the Aero Kids. Prophecy, an organization I'm familiar with from when I was watching Call of Duty Black Ops 2 a lot. They were around since then, so they've been around for a while, but always been kind of a bubble team organization. Never, as far as I have seen, been up in front of the big stage. So here they are with a Rocket League team that has some some familiar names.
You say bubble team, and it's literally made of pretty much a load of RLCS subs.
Yeah. Sure.
So if there's any sort of perfect definition for that, that would probably be it. Flarky, Mummy Snow, and Sniper Kid. Players that have been around for a very long time. Sniper Kid used to be part of, I think he's been part of pretty much every single team at this point.
He was on the original
Capel.
Capel team
Yeah.
with a lot and Turbo, who we've seen both of them today.
Turbo's gone on to do all right for himself, I guess.
I feel like
pretty good.
Sniper and Vafele, another player, they're kind of like the go-to sub-players in Rocket League. Vafele not as much anymore, but definitely in the early on days, it was like, we need Gfinity and we're down one. We'll see if Vafele is free. Like he played on a different team every week, it felt like. But so these guys, some players we're familiar with, going up against Aero Kids, a roster I do not know any of the players of right now, so maybe we'll see. Should be a situation of, we get into the game and find out, oh, we know all these guys.
It has happened every single game so far. We're just like,
we've known someone.
oh, we know these people.
Yeah, I did love that the third player on this guy on Bob's Beans was Mac PogChamp. Like, it was not related to Star Wars at all. I had that fun with Lawler afterwards, but you guys had already stepped off.
Is the count now for Twitch emote names up to 2 or up to 3?
3.
What was the third? So
there
I said
was Keppa.
There was Kappa,
Keppa.
PogChamp.
And
Okay, must have
you've
been
committed
2
to
then.
this now.
I thought it was 3, but
The other thing to look out for, I've seen in a couple of hotels, because DreamHack is so big in Jönköping. It's so big that they've taken Twitch emotes and they're renaming cocktails in various restaurants to Twitch emotes.
I have seen that before.
To go try out the PogChamp or the Kappa.
I
haven't tried any myself yet.
I don't want to try out the Bible thump.
No.
oh boy.
Or the
Just-
what face.
It's just tears.
No.
You drink the what face.
I
and
don't
you
want to
just
drink
The
Golden
dance
Boy's
game?
tears. No.
Don't want to eat the dance game either.
All right, so thoughts about this match. There's a roster of players that we're familiar with, but we haven't seen play all that much going up against a team that's unknown at this moment. We don't know who's going to be on it. Things to be watching for in this match, players to be watching for specifically, probably mostly on Prophecy since we actually know who they are.
It's happened again. I just looked at the roster for Aero Kings.
Okay,
we have
sweet.
Radio, Cheerio, and
Oh yeah, we know these guys.
Cheerio.
Yeah, it's happened again. We know who these people are. They're
This is
again
actually a real match.
high-rated ranked players in Europe. They, make relatively deep runs in the weekly tournaments, and they're probably going to give Prophecy a real run for their money. This could be close, actually. This could be the closest series of the day, I think.
Legit, this is easily the 2 most well-matched teams we've had throughout the entirety of today. So this could be very interesting.
Have we had any other Game 3s other than Series 1?
I don't think so.
No.
I think
No,
it's
I
been
don't think
sweet
so.
since.
So
correct?
this could be another game.
And Series
another
1,
Game 3.
after it looked, we thought it was going to be pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
Because we knew one of the teams. We thought going in that we were not going to know either team, and then we figured out, oh wait, we do know players from this one team, and they took it 2-1. And then they went on to lose 2-0 to Infuse later. That was Survivors. But this is the first time that we know players on both teams, and they're all pretty much the same level, I would say.
I think we can pretty much all agree on that. So making predictions for this one, actually, for the first time, very difficult
Sure.
for all of us. But
So in that nature, predictions. And I've not asked you guys for predictions like yet today.
No.
Because it's felt like I didn't want to just be like, oh, let's just have them all say the same thing. But got Cheerio versus Flarky, Aero Kids versus Prophecy. How's the desk feeling right now? Who are you going with, Karma?
Gosh, it's so tough. I think this is going to be a close series, like you guys said. I think it's going to go 3.
Okay.
I'm going to have to lean on Prophecy with this one, since I think maybe they have a little bit more experience on their side. With Sniper and Flarky, I think I'm going to take them going in.
yeah, Mummy Snow this season has a full amount of 1 series to his name. He actually got subbed in during one of the actual league play series, so he at least has some RLCS experience.
Who was that
on his-
for again? I forget.
I managed to,
Was it Resonant?
Resonant sounds about right. I think he was subbing in
I wish
for
we could see
Pwned,
Twitch
actually.
chat.
He might have
Maybe
been. I think he
was
subbed
it
in on
Penta?
Penta.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It was
actually.
Penta,
Yeah.
yes, that is
Twitch chat
true.
would
Now,
help us,
here's a tangent.
So it's 2 actually.
While we're
because they
talking
played 2 that
about
week.
RLCS subs, because this is a team made up entirely of RLCS subs, one who's not here, do you remember the name of the sub for Set to Destroy? who played also just
Coleman!
1-2.
I will
Coleman.
never forget Coleman.
Wow. See, the funny thing was, I feel like I had
Waved it.
Mummy Snow mixed
Yeah.
up, and I was like, I swear that the SCDs. Oh my gosh. That is the abbreviation STDX. We'll put the X on the
STDX.
end there and save it real fast here. I could have sworn that his name was also something related to mummies and ice-related conditions.
There
but
is
no.
no way I will say
It makes sense
Cole
now.
during an RLCS broadcast and ever forget it. That is a
That's
once in a
so
lifetime
true.
opportunity.
That's
It's
exactly
never
why
happening.
you would remember it. That's exactly why you would remember
No other
it.
reason. Also, unfortunately, Coleman is also bottom of every single stat list.
Well, he only
Oh,
had
was he?
one game
That's
to
the reason
try,
why he really
so,
sticks out.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
It
Who did you
is
think
a
was
rough
gonna win,
situation.
though?
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah, we managed to avoid
I got
that.
a
Tag
prophecy.
question.
I got a
Prophecy,
prophecy
girl?
from Karma.
I'm going to go for Aerial Kings.
Okay.
Really?
I'm expecting,
Okay.
not necessarily expecting the upset, just being like, yeah, sure.
We haven't had one yet
Against the
today.
green, Jody.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Karma, though. I think 2-1 for Prophecy is a pretty safe prediction. And the thing that could go wrong is that being substitutes for RLCS teams, whenever they step in for an RLCS team, there's probably an in-game leader or a more loud voice in the comms. It's not normal for the sub to step in and make calls or try to motivate the team if they're losing. So if they start to have a bad game, that could be really, really bad because we got a team full of substitutes. Who's going to be the leader? I'll be very interested to hear who is the main motivator, who is going to try and hype them up for this. This is a game on stage as well, which could be
You can
very
usually figure it
impactful.
out by whoever is sat in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
we need to try and figure out right now who is it going to be sat in the middle for.
Well,
Prophecy.
these are all subs, so I don't know their faces.
I know,
because they
that
have not
is-
made it
Oh,
to
is it?
land usually. But the one
The
thing,
sniper.
one thing I will say about sub players is that usually they are in the substitute role because they are not the most mechanically sound players, but they
Mummy
do
Snow.
know how to rotate very well. So you put 3 subs together, you're probably gonna have some pretty clean rotations, even if they're not making the best
Yeah,
contact
easy
on the
to
ball.
play with. You're right.
So what I think I can
Exactly.
see there is Flarky on the right, Mummy Snow in the middle.
Okay.
Is that
And
Mummy
that'll
Snow in the
put-
middle?
I think so.
I thought it was
it's like-
Sniper.
It
Hold on.
might be Sniper.
Hold on, we're panning
Sniper
it.
is in the middle.
That's Sniper in the
yeah,
middle.
that's Sniper.
Mummy
Yeah,
Snow
Sniper. So
and
Mummy
Flarky
Snow
are on
just coming in the
different
camera
teams.
right
Yeah,
there.
there's Mummy Snow right there. So, yep, that is
But
supposedly
sometimes-
it's going to be the in-game leader, but we
Sometimes
don't
players
know.
put the player in the middle who just needs to feel safe because he's surrounded
Sure.
by his friends. I know some
F3,
teams
good
do
example
that.
of that.
Although with Cux, they sometimes just put Cux on whichever computer works for him because he's
Yeah.
got such a strange way of telling you,
Does-
okay, this computer is fine, this one's not, and we don't really know why, but we just put him on the one that works
Does
for
he
him.
still play with the bizarre aspect ratio
Yes.
he played
Yeah,
with in
plays-
season 1?
Stretch screen.
Different
Yep.
stretched screen and very strange
I was
camera
watching
settings.
him set it up today, actually, as they were scrimming. He was downloading all these
Yeah, all these
graphic
programs,
files, and
indeed.
he was like in the deep roots of the computer trying to get the
Oh yeah,
aspect
he knows,
ratio that
he knows
was working for
exactly
him.
how he likes it to be set up.
So if we're allowed to actually complain about people that have got weird things,
Sure.
Freaky, I was peeking over his shoulder early on. I've never seen a screen that green in my entire life.
Oh, with like the coloring?
It's like whatever setting he has gone for, he has got the G up all the way.
Are you sure it wasn't like just, when you minimize and you pull it back up, the
No,
screen
no,
goes
because they were
green?
playing on Urban Night.
Yeah, it wasn't on the
Okay.
Manfield. Yeah,
No
there is sometimes on
Manfield
Manfield
green.
DFH or whatever you get that weird
Yeah.
green bug, but
Yeah.
no, I think this one is okay. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
some people they loved. I've seen. There was somebody at LAN. I wish I could remember his name now. I wish I could remember who it was. Who I think was doing that, but the same thing with red, where they were just blowing
They
the
like
red
the
way
red.
out for some reason. They like the
Interesting.
exaggeration there. They like the contrast. But yeah, the things that you do to make yourself. I mean, I feel like you're like you can't afford gunners, so you're like, let's just make the
Make it
monitor
all
do
red.
it.
I mean, it is usually a case of just adapting to what you're used to. There was a case earlier on where we were speaking to Matt, and we were asking him, why do you play at 60 FPS? Because that's what he's used to. He's not used to having a 144 hertz monitor. He's not used to being able to afford
Sure,
a 144
sure.
hertz monitor. So why would you ever switch that over? On the contrast, though, I spoke to Siki, who was another 60 FPS player, how he felt after beating Flipside at the World Championships. He said, oh yeah, I just switched it back up to 144 for the first time ever in his
Yeah.
career. And apparently that just felt phenomenal
He
to him.
carried.
He did
Yeah.
this mid-series.
I
I
think
can't
he did it
remember-
before the series.
I think it was
Okay.
just right before the series.
Before
He turned
Okay.
it up to 144. He was like, I guess I'll give this a go, see what all the
Yeah.
fuss is about. And then he was the best player in the field by miles.
Just do it against Flipside, the at the time, reigning world champions in a lower bracket match, which could see you eliminated. Sure, why not?
Sure. I mean,
Yeah,
on one hand, it's like do the thing you're most comfortable with. You don't want to take any chances there because the chance could kill you. But at the same time, it's also you have nothing to lose. You know, like just do whatever you think you need to do. Why not try it? I mean, you could easily have changed it back if they had gotten brutally beaten game number 1 or something. So it wasn't that big of a commitment, you know.
Sicky's one of those players, speaking of Sicky, that I really admire. Is like he always, you guys are talking about like how these guys need to focus on the rotations and how subs are very malleable, and Sicky's like a really good example of a player that is like that, whose rotations are just one of the best in the world, if not the best. And hopefully these subs can try and work on their rotations and keep this game nice and clean as it's supposed to be.
Yeah, Sicky is an example of a player of whenever I'm asked what would be my dream roster, Sicky and Remco are usually roughly where I start. Just a player that I know can rotate very well and sort of hold it all together. Sicky is a very good example of that. But I actually don't know where I'd go with that one.
Well, there was some great coach who said that the thing that kills team sports the most is the desire for more. When a player desires to have the spotlight himself, and we see that in Rocket League a lot of times. There are the times when a double commit, especially on defense, is because you don't have time to coordinate who's going to go up for it. But there's also times when you see two players in the air, especially offensively, because they both want to make the great aerial shot into the goal, and then that blows their rotation and they get scored on. The players that you're going to see doing that the least are the players who are used to just filling in whatever role they need, and that's the sub players. We'll see if they can do it here.
Yeah, we are going to get ourselves into the first match. Aero Kings against Prospect. Or Prophecy.
We will give you guys a little secret that we can't see the very, very top of the team names on our screen, so forgive Shogun for Prospect.
It's like being able to see half of your watch. Prospect would be a pretty good team name.
It's just about as far from Prophecy as we could get, though, I have to say. We'll have to call them Prospect from now on. Certainly no Prospect play from Mummy Snow, recovering twice to get the first chance of the game. Certainly solid on the ground. And another thing to note about sub players is that they're often very easy on the eyes in terms of spectating, because players like Karma said who are malleable are also very good at just following the game and seeing where they slot in, and that is very, very good to watch from a spectator standpoint.
Yep, see multiple double commits so far by Aero Kings, but they've always had a player just rotating back in time, but this time around, they're going to get away with it again.
Prospect. Mantis, look at this.
I've started doing it now. Prospect is now stuck in my head. Prophecy are continuing to lather on the offensive pressure. As Mummy Snow, she's going to tap that over. Flark. It's actually Flarky. He did speak to me about that today.
He's definitely Flarky. Tiara and the Rose on show, as always. You'll never see him playing without these. One of the reasons he can never play the Batmobile. No hats.
I mean, that's the reason why the Mantis was pretty much released, wasn't it? Just so you can play Batmobile, but
so.
You can change around it a little bit more.
What a shame that Cux didn't play it, and then everybody would follow.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right with that as well. And Sniper is going to take that up the sidewall. We are still all tied up. Yet again, no follow-up. It seems like the second man coming in for the shot is just a little bit slower for Prophecy. But it has meant that they can continue to control the pressure. And if at any point Aero Kings find themselves low on boost, they will be scored on. They need to keep it away. There is a miss by Cheerio, but the shot was not on target. And Aero Kings, they are holding on, but they do not look like they are in any position to get some sort of aggression going.
Yes, this looked honestly very messy from both teams. They'll look to hit the ball much more cleanly as we progress here. A lot of fluffed shots and fluffed passes, mainly from Prophecy, but we haven't seen much out of Aero Kings because they just can't get their hands on the ball right now. Oh, that's a decent redirect denied by the joint. Mummy Snow is there for the second attempt. I would have liked to see Mummy Snow make a run downfield there, make an option for Flarky to pass it towards him. Instead, trying to go up for the same aerial, never a good idea.
And something that Aero Kings are doing very well right now, players are anticipating the save. They are basically just tapping it straight down and then trying to dribble it or just hit it straight out of their own half. But there is no one back right now. Mummy Snow, oh, the bounce too high for him as Flarky puts that one straight back down, and Radio can clear it back away. But once again, Prophecy are waiting, and they will get their first goal of this series.
The Sniper, the man in the middle, does most of the work himself here. Mummy Snow just coming out of a 50-50. Pretty even, but Sniper was closer to the ball. Looks like Aero Kings are going to need to be a little bit more careful. If Sniper is going to continue to cheat up that closely, opportunities will present themselves whenever the ball spills close like that.
And that is a risk that you do run when you spend so much time stuck in your own final third. If anything goes wrong and you've got no one to cover you, that is a certain goal for any well-placed team. And an attempted shot to come through could not quite get there as Cheerio just tried to sneak it. As Aero Kings seem to have woken up, realizing the position they're in, but Sniper tried to go for the dribble, but couldn't hook it onto his car close enough. It was an easy challenge.
And I do know that both Flarky and Cheerio are Swedish, so they get to play at their local event. Not sure about any of the others in this lobby, but I wouldn't be surprised. I know that Sniper is Norwegian. The other 3 players are nationalities that I'm not aware of. Oh, nice plays by Radio. Nearly getting up at the near post. It won't matter, as the ball comes center to Cheerio regardless.
Sublime gameplay right there. Just takes up that sidewalk, and then that little flick right there. Every single player expects you to try and push it in front of the net. Nope. Using the ball like it's FIFA Street, gets it off the side, and pass straight into the middle. Lovely play.
That side flip onto the wall had a faster recovery time than a side flip onto the ground, because he only had to rotate 270 degrees, and then he's back on his wheels, ready to continue moving. 1-1, just as close as we expected it, with Prophecy maybe being the slight favorites due to their longer time. They have been able to pressure their opponents. That is pretty much what we expected going into this, or at least it's what myself and Karma expected. Shogun will be hoping that
I'm
the
not
momentum
hoping for
will
anything.
swing with that goal.
I went for the upset because upsets happen whenever, and honestly, my predictions towards the end of the RLCS was just... I couldn't predict anything anymore, especially not in Europe. The leftovers pretty much ruined everything for me. That was a lovely pass straight over, but too much contact. Jutsu being under pressure. Final 10 seconds indeed. It is going to be the final opportunity for Prophecy, but that is going to be a miss. But still an opportunity here. Ball up high. That will be contested by one player as Cheerio tried to put it down to one of his teammates, but it is going to hit the floor, and we have hit overtime.
Overtime, and I certainly hope that Wavepunk is paying attention to Sniper's car. Beautiful dragon decal. It might enter the running for his favorite of the week. Oh my word, suddenly a couple of free shots. These near post shots are going uncontested where they really shouldn't be. Looks like they've escaped in
Aero
defense.
Kings have stolen this match, and there is no other way of saying that. It is a steal for them.
They've escaped a defensive blunder and one whiff from Mummy Snow. He did the right thing there, tried to rebound it wide of his own net, but he just completely missed the ball. And Aero Kings have taken game 1 in overtime. It didn't take long in overtime. They need to be careful at their near post, though. They're giving so many opportunities to Prophecy by just being that little bit hesitant to attack the ball at their own near post.
Yeah, it really is scary for Aero Kings. They have given up a lot of shots, but a lot of the shots have not been on target. It is a case of Prophecy need to sort out this accuracy. Otherwise, they have the opportunity of losing this series. A series that, yes, it is close, but it is looking like they should be winning. They're controlling the ball, they're controlling the pitch, they're controlling the boost, they're controlling the positioning. Yet, if you've got no finish to the end of that solution, what's there really for you to do?
And we did talk about this situation, a team of substitutes, or at least for the past season in RLCS, they have been substitute players. Will they have an in-game leader? Will they have the ability to come back from one game down? And although it's only one game down, they're on the brink now of dropping a series where you really can't afford to do that.
Yeah, but they are talking to each other. That's a good thing. They are talking to each other. They're getting information across, just nitpicking little things, as all teams do tend to do. And they'll be hoping that that will result in better results in game number 2. This is best of threes, as we have brought up numerous times throughout this broadcast, because it is a very short set and it's a very short series. Anything can go wrong in 2 games, and something has already gone wrong for Prophecy in 1 game. It can happen yet again.
Attempted pinch clear by Flarky and Sniper there, barely missing. They were both airborne for it. Would have been impressive if they could pull that off. Maybe lacking a little bit of synergy, have Prophecy. As we've seen, like you said, more pressure for them, but if they are missing out on that final opportunity, if they can't turn this pressure into meaningful shots on net, And maybe the final pass is really what's lacking here.
It's going to be an opportunity for them. They've put that off the top of the crossbar. Radio cannot
There we
react in
go.
time, and that will be a goal. Defenders find it very difficult to react to anything when it drops down like that.
Yeah, Sniper did a great job. He found an almost goal with his initial shot as the ball comes barred in and out like it has been doing a lot today, and it does make it awkward for almost everybody as you have to get up above the net, try and put the ball back down, but Sniper did so, and I believe that is his second goal here on the day. The only goals that have been scored by Prophecy on stream. But they continue to be right back where they were in game 1. They're pressuring their opponents, trying to create chances, and barely falling short at the very, very final pass.
I am liking a lot of these passes, though, because these passes have been close enough from that corner to really bait out that defender in the net. They are trying to rush out, but they are not able to get to the ball on time. But the shooter does need to find the goal, and that is going to be rolling slowly towards the net, but Cheerio will be there on time, and there is the redirect. Cheerio
Nicely done.
puts it into the net, and we are back to a tied game.
And Sniper was just hesitation personified right here. He had no idea which one of the Aero Kings was going to hit the ball because they're all in the vicinity, and really maybe should have been turning back to go to the goal as he was in no man's land when the shot came over his head. Tie game yet again. Are we going to see the similar story as we saw in the previous game? Oh, there's a great infield pass, and Flarkey will finish. Finally, they've been able to find that service that has been lacking up until now. The last ball was good for once, and a great finish as well. Good placement.
I mean, that's the great thing when you're coming in for those shots. You can place that wherever you want to. You can boost a little bit earlier, get it to the left side, or you can leave it a little while longer and shoot it to the right. Goalkeeper just has to flail and hope for the best a lot of the time. Here comes the follow-up by
Oh,
Mummy
nicely
Snow
done.
and Prospect.
Bro.
I'm bringing it back up. They're
No,
anything but it right now. Are pulling out all the stops and finding the speed that they need to start beating Aero Kings, and they are doing a very good job of it.
Yeah, they absolutely upped the speed right there. Flarkey was up before that ball, had any chance to cross the midfield, found the backboard. He may have been looking for a self-set double touch, but either way, Mummy Snow was up before the rebound. They both essentially pre-jumped that situation. So very, very fast play. Great ability to read the trajectory of the ball mid-air and mid-bounce. Interesting that Cheerio decides to take that ball away from both the goal and, of course, the defender. But it might have been better to just leave the ball to do the work there. Preserve his boost, get back into a position that is more useful. Oh my word, triple touch off the ceiling from Cheerio. My guys.
There's plenty of aerial points for you as well. So we're coming towards the halfway point. 2 goals separating these teams.
Make
3
it
goals
3.
separating these teams. I stand corrected. And this is much better right now from Prophecy. Something we're seeing a lot at this LAN environment is teams a bit shaky during game 1, but really finding their footing once they come back around for game number 2.
That's the second time that Sniper's passed the ball to himself. First off the backboard, now off the ceiling. And we did see Cheerio doing that for the Aero Kings, so definitely some lackadaisical defense from both teams. Taking a little bit too long to challenge the ball carrier. But that can happen. We're talking a lot about the fact that these players on Prophecy are all substitute players for the past season, and they're all trying to fill the gaps. But what if they just need that one player who's going to play selfish and try to rush the ball in defense, because sometimes they are giving a little bit too much space for Aero Kings to play with, and also the same can be said for Aero Kings and their failure to defend to the latter half of this game against Prophecy.
Oh wow,
What
Mummy
a
Snow
demo.
ended up missing the ball, but he'll be thankful that Cheerio didn't get any contact. 3 goals still separate. There is plenty of time to adjust that though, as that is going to be another shot put towards the net, but straight towards Mummy Snow. Will easily be able to defend it as we're coming up to the final 90 seconds. Prospect. It's now a habit at this
You're
point.
going to get
It's
us
Prophecy.
in trouble.
I know, it's Prophecy at this point. But they have conceded 1 goal. 90 seconds remaining, and they need to do some defensive work to keep their lead intact.
I think they should have it under wraps. Barring some kickoff shenanigans here, I haven't seen enough from Aero Kings offensively to really believe that they can bring 2 4-starters out of Prophecy. Prophecy have been getting more consistent as the series has progressed, although they did start a little bit shaky in terms of their ball striking ability. Just over a minute left now. Will we see game 3? It certainly looks like it. Aero Kings hanging on so many demos, often by accident. Players just looking for the ball and catching opponents who happen to be nearby. Oh, pinch. Is that on net? Barely off. That looked like a bit of a weird bounce, and gladly we're going to get to see it again because of the replay. Yeah, great hit by Mummy Snow.
We're seeing a lot of players rotating left to right, and that's the reason why we are getting a lot of these demos coming through. Usually a lot of players are a little bit more clean, just keep going forward and backwards at a slightly better rate, then don't usually collide with anyone on the pitch. But they are being caught, and 3 goals will probably mean the end of this game, and we'll go to our tiebreaker. Game number 3, Aero Kings will need to be doing much, much better because I'm going to say their name correctly this time.
Prophecy. Yes.
There we go. Have been looking on form ever since that first loss.
Absolutely. And as we get into the final 30 seconds, this has been the most one-sided game of the series. Of course, we did have the 1-0 lead for Prophecy, completely thwarted by Aero Kings in game 1, taking it 2-1 in overtime. The Sniper Kid with a couple of self-set plays. That one very impressive play from Flarky and Mummy Snow off the backboard has enabled Prophecy to just have far too much firepower in attack for Aero Kings to deal with. Aero Kings need to try and make some faster interceptions if they want to win this. But we go to 1-1, a clean slate in the ace match, and so far all of our predictions are possibly true. We're certainly right that this is the closest series of the day, I think.
Yep, certainly were. Now it's time for one of these players, if not all of these players on the team, to step up and take this game 3, because at the end of the day, these teams are aiming much higher than their opponents. They'll be thinking that on either side. So this is a must-win. If you really want to be getting into the money, both of these teams are looking at this like, if we don't beat them, what chance do we have against the Methods, the Rogues, the F3s, the Gale Forces?
Yeah.
It's, you know, this is a must-win.
I believe that Prophecy came in here as the 8th seed, so expecting to make the money. Of course, top 8 is the money here, and that does mean that Aero Kings slightly outside the top 8 in the seeding, but they've shown that they can definitely, if they bring their A game and Prophecy make a couple of mistakes here and there, it could go in their favor. They've set themselves up for success here. Just one more win is all they need, and they'll progress with the first seed from this group, I believe. Need to have another look at the group for Prophecy and Aero Kings. I'm not sure if there will be another top-tier team in here. But moving into game 3, closest series of the day continues. Who is going to clutch it? I've got my money on Prophecy. Shogun said Aero Kings going into this.
I'm not putting any money on that. I'm very stingy.
Still feeling confident?
I'm very stingy, okay? Also, no, not that confident. Not after that last game. Almost even less confident after Sniper almost put that goal in, but ended up whiffing. And now Aero Kings, as they did during that first game, get away. Cheerio's going to try and continue to follow up, but there's not much available for them right now, apart from a waiting Prophecy defense. And now Flarky is going to look at his opportunity. He puts that one straight back down, and he does it by himself. The rear admiral for Flarky.
Flarky looking really happy with himself here. Gets a nice dunk, comes off the wall, puts the ball right in at a tight angle. You can see the respect there from Aero Kings. They knew he was going for that play. They knew there's a good chance he's hitting it. And Flarky with perhaps his best goal of the series, perhaps his best goal of the day. One of the best we've seen in terms of solo efforts, for sure.
In terms of genuine, because we saw a lot of goals earlier on between Gale Force, but that was the first one that had a genuine defense against it.
Oh, what
really
a goal by
Sniper.
Sniper!
Okay, Prophecy are here to play.
We talked about the individual plays, now the team play. Sniper taking it away from Radio, and he finds the crossbar, the post, and the goal, all with one hit. Beautifully done. Prophecy looking like a brand new team all of a sudden. And I did really quickly check. This is the number 1 and 2 seeds in their group. There are 2 other teams in the group, but these are the top 2. And it may well be the 8th and 9th seeds in this tournament, which would explain why it is so close. Oh my word, and now Mummy Snow steps up to the plate.
They've all had one.
Self-set double touch.
They've all had one for themselves. Mummy Snow just coming out. He gets himself in the perfect position. The ball coming off the bottom or the top of his car actually set him up really well just to continue the rotation around and take the shot.
He knew exactly what he was going for there. He realized he can't get high enough above the ball in the initial flight path, so he hits it straight at the wall, and then right away he readjusts his car to get the fast hit down the way. Right now, he knows he can get above this one. The far lower pass easily hit into the wide open net. Love the pass though. Sniper blind pass to the center. That's great communication from them.
Prophecy are just putting the ball into the air. Aero Kings have no response to anything right now, and it has resulted in a 4-0 lead, and we are barely even 90 seconds. Prophecy have sucked out all of the tension in this final game.
And with goals like these, you gotta wonder, how far can Prophecy go? We were talking about top 8 being the expectation as the 8th seed coming in here. But if they can play this well offensively, they're going to score against anybody at this tournament. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to struggle to defend against these goals. Great solo efforts. The team play also on point for 2 of their 4 goals so far. Defensively, they have looked a little bit shaky, and they started off this series hitting the ball very, very poorly, but it did not take them long to find their feet, and now they're looking like a real contender for the money tomorrow and moving on into the tournament, perhaps deeper, top 4, perhaps.
Yes, and going on about your point about the offense that they have been pulling out, a lot of it has been not even giving Aero Kings an opportunity to challenge. You've got double taps off that backboard, you've got passing plays straight towards the middle of the field, and then you've got rear admirals coming out. None of those really offer themselves opportunities to be tackled unless you have read that they're going to happen way before that they actually do. So Aero Kings really need to find something. This might be their opportunity, but I almost feel like they should have just committed all 3 to that. Instead, the final third shows against it. What is the difference between a 4 and a 5-0? You need to just keep it going.
But with only 2 minutes left, Aero Kings need to do something drastic. Right now, all they're able to conjure is some defensive clears, but nothing more than possession being given away. Prophecy will gladly accept all of these possession donations. But there we go. Finally, Solith to himself off the backboard. I do love that he's able to hit that high with confidence. Can't convert on this occasion though, and they need to score every chance they're going to get if they want to take this series.
Yep, time is still ticking away for them. Final 100 seconds. Mummy Snow gets enough contact. He's going to get that into the corner where it will be safe. But Aero Kings with their first opportunity. 2 players committed though will mean that this rotation will break down as Cheerio had to rotate himself back. Radio just trying to take this over the top, but every single time, Prophecy holding that middle line very well, not allowing anything to come towards them. And it's something that Rocket League teams have got so much better at as time goes along. Used to be very large goal swings, but now when a team has got a lead, very difficult to try and pry it away from them.
Their challenging of the ball has been spectacular for the 4th game, or for the 3rd game of this series. Making sure that whenever somebody does step forward, there is someone else ready to back them up should they fail on their challenge. And it really makes the challenge less of a fail and more of an enabling tactic. It just enables someone who's further back with a better position to step in after you force the player who's trying to dribble you or take you out the game with a backboard pass to relinquish the possession that they currently have. And we're seeing Prophecy are just breaking down every attack at the first opportunity, sending someone at the ball, like we talked about in Game 2. They just need somebody to be selfish and go at the ball with confidence to enable his teammates behind him to then step forward after the fact.
Yep, and we were saying that they needed 4 goals 2 minutes ago. We are now at the final 15 seconds. Aero Kings have struggled to put anything past this clean sheet, and it looks like it shall remain. Prophecy struggled game 1, but have dominated in game 3. They will take the win.
And we're looking across at a very happy-looking Karma. Her prediction stands to be correct. Not so much to be said about Shogun's.
It was looking good for the first
call.
game.
Yeah, it did look good for the first game and the first goal of game 2, but that was about it, because after that, it was the Prophecy show. They were able to take this first seed and second seed in the group. Did go as expected. And we'll be keeping a very close eye on this Prophecy lineup as they progress into this tournament, but for now, we're going to give it back to Wavepunk and Karma to break down that game.
So when you make a prediction about a team called Prophecy, wouldn't you call it a prophecy? Like,
think the name's fitting here.
Yeah, we are going to make prophecies about I don't know. We might go in too far there, but
Will
they
we be
do.
prophets then?
We predicted it correctly on the yeah. I guess we'd be false prophets if we get the prediction wrong. I don't know. You said that it would go 3 games. It did go 3 games. 2 very evenly matched teams here, and it ultimately is Flarky and the boys who are able to pull it out. And Flarky makes my list of most pretty cars so far in the game, or so far in the tournament, with his tiara. He's actually one of the few. I think we've seen like 2 toppers so far today. We saw the Marquee eyes earlier, and then we saw his tiara now with the rose antenna. Anytime players are using toppers and antennas, they earn some style points
Extra
with
points,
me
for
because
sure.
pros never use toppers.
And they're a pain. I don't know, in my
Yeah.
opinion, when I play, I don't like having anything obstruct my vision. But I've heard people say that they use the antenna to find where the back of their car is when the ball's straight up in the air. I've heard some people say
Oh, that's
that.
really interesting.
I personally don't find that useful. I just find it a pain. So
Yeah.
I give a lot of credit to players who can play with toppers and not get distracted, because to me, a topper is just get out of the way. You know what I mean?
Lawler, what do you think about the Santa hat?
I mean, it's a part of who I am now.
Yeah.
Like it's not even the fact that it's a separate piece of my car that I can take off. It's just my car has a Santa hat like built into it. So at this point, it's just part
You're
of it.
rolling with it.
I rocked a Halo for probably the first 500 hours of Rocket League, but then I was just like, man, I want my car to look cool. I want it to look like an actual car. You know, it has like a big old engine in it, and big cars don't have hats except for Jacobs, who always has the biggest hat, which is pretty crazy. But Prophecy versus Aero Kings, great match there. Went both directions at 1 game apiece, and then the 3rd game was the decider. Prophecy pulls that one out there in the end. Clean 4-0 victory there at the end, looking good, and they're going to continue to move on here.
Yeah, Prophecy looked really dominating in the last game. It looked like they finally became comfortable maybe with the stage and with the environment, and then they just enforced their will onto, what was the team's name?
Aero Kings.
Aero Kings. I want to say Aeriality for some reason. So.
That is
Been a
that is
while since
Rocket
we've heard
League
that
team.
name.
It's been a while, yeah, but Aerial Kings just couldn't do anything about it. They seemed to have the passing plays working, and it looked really nice towards the end there.
It certainly did. Well, Prophecy, part of that lineup here. We're going to have Mummy Snow on the desk. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Doing good. Thank you for asking. How did you feel about the match? Went 3 games. This is the second 3-game match of the day.
The first game was pretty sketchy. I
Yeah.
think it was because of nerves and the first time us meeting each other. But at the second game, we kind of felt it. And the third game was, we're just having fun.
You guys really, really clicked
Yeah.
at the end. This is something we've heard from a few teams here, that this is the first time here in DreamHack in Sweden that all the players are actually meeting each other for the first time. Not just
Yes.
playing with each other, but actually meeting each other. That's really cool. So what were your impressions of your teammates? Did they vary at all from the impressions you gained online?
The only one that I haven't met was Flarky, and all other pros I have seen in the RCS show.
Sure.
But it's always kind of nice to put like a voice to a face. It's you always come with a surprise, like oh he looks like that, but sounds like this.
Who's been your
Yeah.
biggest surprise so far?
I would say Cooksir.
I was going to say.
I didn't expect him to be. I mean, sorry, Cooksir, but that's more.
Yeah.
It was, but he's very nice.
He's so
He's
cute. He's
adorable.
like a
Yeah,
compact
he's-
little.
yeah.
He's adorable.
There's
Have you heard him speak yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, his voice sounds nothing like what I thought it was going to
No, no.
sound like either. He's a very surprising person in so many ways. So we were talking on the desk before the game started about how all of you guys on Prophecy are RLCS subs, that you guys
Yeah.
have all been on the sub rosters for the top 8 teams. Did that have any play into how you guys formed the team for Prophecy?
I would say that for anyone that want to try for LCS, just do it. Being a sub is very hard because when there's tournaments upcoming to the LCS, it's always like you won't find anyone other than other subs.
Sure.
So me and Sniper was always kind of teaming up. We did it with Ignite, but then we found Flarky, and because he was a sub at F3 as well.
Do you think being a sub is almost more difficult than being a starter?
Oh,
And
yes.
that sounds weird when you're listening to it at first, but I was a sub during RLCS Season 2, and I ended up eventually playing. But one of the things I found really hard about being a sub is that you have to be almost ready for any one of your teammates to go down, so to speak, and for you to be able to fill any role on that team. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I played for Penta, and we all know how that went, sadly. And I had to
hurts a
fill
lot.
Pondix. He had, like, there was big shoes to fill, so yeah, definitely it's very hard. Also to stay competitive in the sub spot because you're not playing with your team and not scrimming. So it's hard. needs some mentality to.
I mean,
like,
would
be able
you
to
say that's one of the big benefits though of being able to play on a main roster is getting that practice against
Yes.
those top tier teams all the time?
Exactly. Yeah. I think the stage also and meeting them will meet the players actually forms a better synergy across
For sure.
the
And,
teams.
you were the sub for Penta this last season. Penta is here with their starting roster. How does that feel for you? Are you excited to face off against them?
Are we facing them next?
I don't know if you will at some
I
point,
mean-
but it's a possibility.
I've always respect Penta in the way they play. They're fast. They pass each other, and Pondex is a god in the air.
Yeah.
So it's I would say it's gonna be hard for sure.
Which teams are you looking out for the most in this tournament?
Apart from Penta, I would say Method. I'm not that scared of teams not playing the teams that doesn't play fast because I like to play fast. Teams that plays fast has really good mechanics like Method, and they're just they can do anything, and it's so scary. But of course, there's also a flip side. They have Mystic now, and we all know how good he is in the game
sure.
as well.
For sure. Have you gotten to explore any of DreamHack outside of this the tournament area?
No,
No,
sadly
not at all?
only the D hall.
Was this y'all's last match of the day? You got another one?
I have no idea actually. The bracket
Don't
is
look
a
at me,
bit,
man. I wish
Yeah.
I did.
I think we have one more match after this.
I would assume you guys have at least one more. But if you do go exploring, take a buddy.
I'll take it.
You might get lost. It's
It's
pretty
a
big out there.
large venue.
There's so many different halls to go into, and you're like, well, what's this? And then you look around, you're like, wait, that corner's not the same as when I came in. So it's a big venue.
I'll
It's a
make sure
really
to
big
do that.
venue.
And this
And
is
there's
not
a
the
lot
this
of
is not the
people.
only esports hall. There's an entire another hall of tournament spaces that are happening. So much happening here.
pretty cool
I
stages.
need somebody. I don't know if I'm gonna actually be able to get off the desk long enough to go, but there's a Tex-Mex concession stand over there, and I really want somebody just to order something from there and tell me how it is, because I really want to know what Swedish Texan Mexican food is like. How do they do that? You know, I've now tasted Swedish meatballs from America and compared them to Swedish meatballs from Sweden, and they're pretty similar. So
Really?
I'm really interested to see what Swedish nachos are like.
You don't think the Swedish meatballs have the advantage?
Oh no, I mean they're definitely better, but they're better because they're from Sweden. I actually couldn't really tell much of a difference.
That's fair.
I'll
Give them the
completely
Lego.
honest.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, any others? No, Mummy Snow. I almost called you Pondex because we were talking about him just a moment ago. Mummy
He's
Snow.
delicious as well.
Any other words? Any shout outs you got here before I let you go?
I just want to say thank you for Prophecy for bringing us here and paying all of it.
When did I'm gonna cut you off. When did you get picked up by Prophecy? How long has that been? I think.
There's an Elite Series going on, Gfinity. So it was back like a month ago. It was supposed to start the 26th of May, so that's when we got picked up.
Very cool. It was fun because I was telling the story that I followed Prophecy on Twitter from back when I was watching them with their Call of Duty squad, and then I started seeing them tweet out about Rocket League, and I was like, wait, what? No way! They have a Rocket League squad. So it was really cool to see you guys get picked
That's
up.
really
But yeah, congratulations on winning, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank
bud.
you.
Awesome. That will do it here for this match, but we've got more coming up. The day continues to roll on. So much great Rocket League action coming to you here from Sweden. We've got some more coming up right after the break. Don't go anywhere. It'll be quick.